Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be very educational and very enlightening and informative. So, those of you who follow me, you'll know that I've made numerous videos and I'm suing Johnathan Cahn because he is in violation of copyright laws, but he is also in violation of Jeremiah 23, where it clearly reads, "Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, saith the Lord, that steal my words, every one from his neighbor." So I wrote my own books, which were new, incredible prophetic words given to me by the Lord. And he decided to steal those prophetic words in true form and fashion as a filthy lucre, according to Titus chapter 1, verse 11. He stole those prophetic words from me so he could line his pockets because he serves his own flesh and those almighty dollars. That's his master, is those almighty dollars. But take note, the key word here, neighbor, in that specific verse. So I've also pointed out that in those videos that I've done about him, Proverbs 6:31, where it states, "But if he be found," if a thief, that's what it means. You have to know the context. This is the one verse. "If a thief is found, he shall restore sevenfold, he shall give all the of his house. Substance of his house." Even what that means, if a thief has been caught, he has to pay back sevenfold, even if it means selling everything in his house and his house. Now, Johnathan, his most recent video that he just uploaded today, it's difficult to see here, but it's titled Shameless. Understand that because he is indeed shameless. That's his upload, July the 26th, just today. He is shameless. Understand, this is propaganda. This is his propaganda machine, because what I'm going to show is he actually takes Luke chapter 11 and Luke chapter 16 and tries to intermingle those chapters. And this is what his strategy is: to really confuse, do a teaching that would confuse his followers, because he uses two complete chapters in this teaching and butchers it and twists it to so that it's not actually what it means. That's a confusion tactic, and he's doing this because he's being exposed for the things he's stolen from me. And I just want to give you a couple of quick snippets of that, so you'll see that what I'm talking about. He's taken parts of Luke chapter 11 and parts of Luke 16, intermingled it and twisted it to where he's not teaching it the way it's meant to be says, and he lies and says that Jesus teaches something in there that is completely opposite of what those chapters actually teach. Listen carefully. Well, is shocking those who hear, because he's speaking of something here that would seem to be wrong. The brash, shameless neighbor who wakes you up at 12 in the morning because he wants bread, and he... Now that comes out of Luke chapter 11. Remember, I pointed out Jeremiah 23 about the neighbor. So now he's talking about the neighbor. He's talking about the neighbor. How the shameless neighbor comes to ask for bread. He did not ask for the bread. He stole the bread. He did not come knocking. He wasn't the obnoxious neighbor that came asking for the bread. He was the one that stole the bread in accordance with Jeremiah 23. See, Johnathan, you might be crafty. You may believe in your own mind you're crafty, but you're not. I know the Bible inside and out, and I see through all. I can read you like a book. You're so easy to read because I know Scripture, and I know exactly what you're doing here. Continue to listen. To commend the example, something you should do. They're thinking, wow, should I be going next door at all hours and asking for food? No, but listen.
listen with him. Think of the parable.
So in that teaching, he tries to say that Jesus actually teaches his apostles to follow the example of that. He literally does in this entire teaching. He teaches his uh, completely twist Luke chapter 11 and Luke chapter 16 and says that that Jesus himself taught, you should follow the example of these people. That is completely opposite of what Luke 11 and Luke 16 teaches.
The man who's losing his job, and he responds by figuring out a way to keep on money coming in, and he's an opportunist, this guy. And Messiah says that she'll.
So that comes out of Luke 16 about the unrighteous servant. That's a parable about the unrighteous servant. The other one was the unrighteous neighbor, the obnoxious neighbor in Luke 11. This is the unrighteous servant who figures out a way to swindle and steal. He got caught stealing from his master and being an unrighteous servant. So he starts figuring out how to steal from other people to keep his place. Believe that. Know that what he's trying to do is exactly what the unrighteous servant did. And what he literally teaches in this teaching, this message, is that is what's right. That is what Jesus expects you to do. And Jesus actually did that parable to teach this is not what you're supposed to do. He completely teaches false doctrine, completely twist around Luke chapter 11 and Luke chapter 16. And the reason he does that,
Opportunist, this guy. And Messiah says the children of this world are wiser in their ways than the children of the kingdom are. He's saying the worldly people are wiser in worldly things than the children of the kingdom are in things of the kingdom.
that's just part of it. Again, these are small sections of the whole teaching. He's literally teaching his people that that is the right thing to do. He says that Jesus taught that is the right, that you have to be like worldly people. You have to take advantage of others. He's teaching this because this is the propaganda that he's trying to spin, because he's being exposed for stealing the prophetic words given to me. That is a direct violation of Scripture.
And he commends the unrighteous servant, not because of his unrighteousness, but because of his wisdom and his shrewdness and his resourcefulness and making the most of every moment. And he tells the children of God, you should be more like him in that respect. Not immoral, not greedy, but wise, shrewd, resourceful, not for
Absolute false doctrine. There you have it right there. Right there, plain and simple. That he claims that Jesus commended the unrighteous servant and teaches his apostles they should be just like that. Just like that. The reason he's doing this, and again, I pointed out, this is the verse that I've been showing. This is the main verse that I've been showing. But if a thief be caught, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. You have to take it into full context. Men do not despise a thief. They don't see. This is where he's going with it. If he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. Understand that. That is what he's trying to propagate. This is where he's trying to go. This is the direction he's trying to go. He's trying to say that he's propagating the idea that he stole to satisfy his soul because he was hungry. He wanted bread. He wanted bread and stole to satisfy his soul. He didn't steal to satisfy his soul. He stole to line his pockets as a filthy lucre. But he stole in the context of stealing the bread from the neighbor. He stole the bread from the neighbor. He was not the obnoxious neighbor that came knocking and asked. He did not come to me and say, man, I really like your books. Can I work with you and collaborate with you on some of that and do my own book? He did not do that. He came and stole and claimed that it was new prophetic knowledge given to him by the Lord. And he still, because he's been caught, shall restore sevenfold. He still will do that. Still has to do that. See, he just wants to propagate the idea to his followers that he is righteous in what he has done. That's all he's done here, trying to propagate.
And he commends the unrighteous servant, not because of his unrighteousness, but because of his wisdom and his shrewdness and his resourcefulness and making the most of every moment. And he tells the children of God, you should be more like him in that respect. Not immoral, not greedy, but wise, shrewd, resourceful, not for...
Luke chapter 16. That is not what it teaches. Jesus did not tell his apostles, you need to be just like them. He said in Luke chapter 16, you shall not serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. You're going to either serve the world and those almighty dollars in your pockets and thievery, or you're going to serve the Lord. He's trying to propagate the idea that what he's done is for righteous means. That's all he's doing here, is propaganda. He's going to propagate, and this is why I know he's going that direction. He's going to try to say, well, I was doing it for the Lord, if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. That's what he's trying to do. That's the message he's trying to convey. Well, I stole it because I was trying to get money together so my ministries could do the works of the Lord. All he's done is lined his pockets, and he's still gonna pay. You still gonna pay, Johnny come lately. Johnathan Cahn artist, you fraudulent thief. You're gonna pay dearly, and you're gonna be exposed for the fraud you are. That's why I make sure to tag all those channels that you appear on, so that way they know exactly what you are. And that way they back away. They say, hey, well, we might not want to have him on the show because we too can be held responsible for helping him peddle his stolen copyrighted material. Y'all be sure to spread this. God bless.